Hello and welcome back to Fee Gaming. We are playing The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky again. First things before we go chasing after those kids that did something stupid in the Tower of Esmeralda, we're going to be reading the book that we got. I know, in terms of the story, this is an urgent issue. I don't care. If I don't read it now, I never will. First, let's go with the newspaper. The featured story, The Queen's 60th is nigh. A milestone anniversary. The half-year countdown to Her Majesty Queen Alicia's 60th birthday celebration has begun. This has been a banner year for Her Royal Highness, sparking more anticipation than this event has ever seen before. But we must not forget too that this year is the 10th since the 100 Days War, a period of intense turmoil for all of the borough. As we celebrate, let us also reflect on the tragedies of the past so that we may refrain from ever reliving them in the future. We have been afforded this luxury of hindsight, and we must make use of it to the fullest. After all, it's always in 2020, right? Preparations underway in the royal city. Main Street is filled with the bustle of men and women furiously preparing decor and merchandise for the upcoming festivities and developing new products specifically for sale during the celebration. The competition is truly cutthroat. I yearn for my customers' taste buds to sing with delight. Oh, it's a woman. Whoops. I didn't expect that. Says Miss Sorbet, local ice cream purveyor who deals her wares in the city's East Block. Sadly, her new menu will remain a mystery to us until the day of the festival. As the population grows, more and more businesses pop up all around me, but all that means is more customers, especially at festival time, so I'm certainly not complaining. She exclaims this with a sly smile. Miss Sorbet seems to have a few tricks up her sleeve, so to all her competitors we say, watch out. It's difficult keeping track of these, the way it's formatted on the book. Who shall stand and who shall fall? Prior to the festival, Her Majesty will be hosting our annual martial arts competition in the Royal Arena. This fiercely competitive tournament is always a big hit, with some avid spectators even regarding it as the day's main event. Which team will come out on top? Society. Burglaries across the Bose region. According to our sources, the Bose region has seen a string of burglaries over the last several days, and the people have had enough. The Royal Army Border Patrol, stationed at the Hacking Gate, has been stepping up its efforts to apprehend the group of criminals responsible for these acts, and anyone with information on their identities is urged to contact the Border Patrol immediately. Travel. Finding the perfect getaway. The Kingfisher Inn along the beautiful Valeria Lakeshore is more popular than ever following a visit from the woman of the royal city. Won't you come and fish with us too? I think I know who they're talking about. Fishing's for some reason a very big thing in these games. Surprisingly, you get some useful stuff out of it too. If I do decide to do the fishing, I'll only do a couple of them on camera, then I'll do the rest off camera because there's only so much so much boring stuff you can watch. Okay, now let's get to the Cornelia chapter 1. The Imperial Chronicle. I stood there, upright in front of the revolving door, scuffing the heels of my boots against the ground, pulling slightly on the collar of my trench coat. I dropped my chin and gazed at my partial reflection in the curved glass. Aside from my short cropped hair, I wore a modest-looking double-breasted leather raincoat and a pair of special order steel-reinforced boots, both of which at first glance appeared to be the most common of common apparel. Yet they were in fact much more than the naked eye could detect. My ordinary, average appearance, it was of just as much importance today as it had been on any other day in times past. Not far off, the sound of footfalls echoed rhythmically like the steady beat of a pendulum swinging back and forth. As the throngs of those coming and going moved quickly along the cobblestone avenue, enveloped and tinged silver by the morning mist, at times the calling voice of a street peddler disrupted the steady flow. But as soon as the hawking cry faded away, it would resume its course. Each morning that I found myself setting foot in the Imperial City, I also found my surroundings to be unchanged and stained by the same somber tone of grey. Snatching up a magazine from the underarm of a street vendor, I tossed a few mirrors into the left hand poised expectantly behind his back. The Imperial Chronicle, the magazine I read so often that the ink bleeds were familiar. Roughly flipping open its cover, I scanned the headlines along the top of its monochrome pages. Then suddenly, my breath caught in my throat. At the very bottom of the local news page, I found those letters. That sequence of characters which I had not heard nor seen since the time of that life-changing incident. My eyes instantly gravitated to the spot, and for a time, I remained fixated. Einsamet. The very meaning of those letters became lost to my senses as I stood motionless, my gaze fixed on the same line of text until it all seemed to coalesce into a single blotch of ink. After a few seconds of blank comprehension, my vision settled and I retched my eyes to the beginning of the article. As I began to read, my memories verged on a single point in my past, and then slowly started to run in reverse, heading for that fateful event 3 years prior when this name was first introduced to me. It was on an afternoon all those years ago, on a day not unlike this one, where the capital was overshadowed by its typical gloomy aura. I was a little younger than now, a 22-year-old boy who stood silently in front of the boutique door as usual, double-checking his appearance before lightly treading over to the Mitch's Imperial factory. It was on this day that it had been arranged for me to receive a new job from Mitch, the shop owner himself. Although he was a drab middle-aged man, I, being the ornament enthusiast I was, had found myself as one of his few regular customers. I headed down a dank alleyway, and after passing through a partially rotted wooden gate, I could see the soft glow of the flickering orbital light just outside the entrance of the factory, whose structure was halfway below the street level. I first began receiving jobs from Mitch about the time when dissension began to occur in society over the 100 Days' War. It was during this period that relations between the Liberal Kingdom and the Empire were at their worst, and the importation of ornaments had become almost non-existent. Conspiring with underground elements and planning a smuggling operation, Mitch made me out to be his accomplice in crime, for the job which I received by his hand was none other than that of a courier. Being nothing more than a commoner in my teens at the time I met him, and a juvie devoid of any connections in life besides, and naturally jumped at the opportunity without a moment's hesitation. Yet, even after relations with the girl had returned to some degree of normalcy, I realized I was in no mood to give up my speciality, which focused mainly on the delivery of stolen goods. The reason being, there was no job out there which could bring me in the kind of mirror this one did. With an unrefined and inconspicuous appearance, I had countless times before hidden items of various sorts in my hat and trousers, and made my way hither and thither between the borders of these neighbouring nations. And though to my delight, my wallet had become increasingly laden with a bounty of monetary rewards, I routinely changed my alias as a precautionary measure, so much in fact that these false names had built up into quite the list over the last few years. I had been known as Phil the Ruthless, Rooney the Trickster, and even Chris the Coward. However, Mitch had always called me by one name, Toby. This was the identity I had used for my initial job, and one I liked above all the others. I hope I pronounced all of that right, but that's quite an interesting story. I'm just going to try and talk to one or two people, see if there's any new interactions. If there isn't, we'll get going. Okay, there's no oh, that was new. I thought that was nothing new. I'll have to check another person. Okay. Okay, it seems like it's mostly the same, right? Yeah. Okay, let's get going then. It's about time we actually save these kids from their own stupidity. The Malka Trail. I didn't even see that. Okay, so 32 CP, should I go strike? Yeah, sure, why not? Oh shit. Why did she hit? Soul Blur. Okay, and you wipe the one again. Get it out of the way. Oof. They do hit like a truck, don't they?
That's that then. Let's move out.
It's good to know that those give illusionary quartz. Anything interesting? Plant monster. Too far away. Do I have anything I can throw at it? Nope. I'll have Estelle heal Josh. And Josh Josh can use a critical soul blow.
All right, we're good to go.
Okay. Oh, nearly hit another one. Should I do it? Ah. Sure, why not? Oh. Maybe I shouldn't have. Okay, focus fire, get one out of the way. If I let them all attack on their own, we'll end up with casualties quick.
Piece of cake.
Cooking. Oh, I didn't get any ingredients. I probably should have done that. Oh, what's that? Reviving bar? Not a thing remains in the chest except a lonely, dead spider. Now mine is north and Esmer's Tower. Okay, we're going this way then. Get it. Wow. As they say, if it's not 100% hit chance, it's 50. I thought in these games, if you missed, they could counterattack, but maybe that's in the later games.
Piece of cake.
The combat will probably start off being quite boring since not a lot of augments in. The chest is empty. I wonder whose fault that is. We'll get more interest as the monsters get different and they all have their unique traits. There's the big shiny tower that we need to go into. Right. Now to kill my voice again. It looks like we've come all the way to Esmeralda's Tower. I didn't see any sign of them along the trail. So do you think they've wandered inside? It's quite likely that's the case. Let's go in. It looks like we'll need to hurry. Right. Esmeralda's Tower, first floor. It's dark in here. I'm scared. Quit being baby. We're only on the first floor of this place. Did you hear that? They really did come in here. Estelle, are you alright? Luke! Pat! If you can hear me, answer me now! Those little brats. Are they pretending they can't hear me? They might have climbed to the second floor already. Let's hurry and see if we can find them. Okay. Pretty straightforward, the first floor. What are we going to do now? Somebody help! Run full speed in the direction of the voice or rush in simultaneously with Joshua. The second one is cautious and not stupid, so we'll go with that one. Let's go, Joshua. Right, I've got your back. You monsters, go somewhere else. No, shoo, leave us alone. Chew on this. Estelle, what are you doing here? Joshua, you're here too? Get back, you two. These monsters aren't playing around. We'll take care of them. Protect all the NPCs. If the NPCs health points reach 0, the game is over. Let's see what Joshua's CP action is.
Let's do this!
Sever. He really is built like an assassin, isn't he? I find it hard to believe that Cassius would teach him that.
Here I come!
Oh, Estelle. She just likes beating things with a big stick. Itchy snuzz. Estelle is actually going to intentionally build to be quite a slow but tanky character. And by slow I don't mean movement range, I mean
We're good to go!
turn frequency. Because from the sidebar you can see how quickly they have their turns. The faster their speed, the more turns they have. But that's both a positive and a negative thing, because of the buffs you get. For example, the defense buffs. They'll expire at the same frequency as the attack buffs, but it's not per turn on the left bar that they expire, it's per turn that the character itself has. So if your character is like one turn every 20 turns, then they'll have 20 turns of defensive buff. It's pretty sweet. It means that you can have slow characters without getting your ass handed to you. Estelle learned taught. It's also for this reason, because Estelle's pretty much built to be a paladin. She heals and draws aggro. So I just need to make her less squishy. It looks like that's fat. Yeah, I'm glad everyone's safe too. By the way, that was great timing the way you blitzed those monsters, Estelle. You really think so? Is it safe now? Oh man, that was awesome! You really showed them, Estelle. Not bad for a girl. You little twerp. Ow, that hurts. What are you trying to do to me? What's wrong with you? You even dragged poor Pat all the way up here against his will. It's time to think about what you did today. Ow, you're hurting me. Stop it. I said stop it, you violent she-devil. So this is the thanks I get for saving your neck, huh? Looks like it's time for me to give you some of my special discipline. Ow, 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 ow. Alright, Estelle, I'm sorry, everything was my fault. Estelle, shouldn't we forgive each other like they teach us at school? This brat doesn't need forgiveness, but a little discipline should do the trick. Estelle, behind you. It's something with teeth, isn't it? Nice monster? I'm not going to make it in time. You clearly could have, but yeah, sure. Huh? Dad, you came. You still lack skill and understanding, Estelle. You must always prepare for unseen dangers by sharpening your senses. That's part of what it means to be a bracer. Dad? What are you doing here? I just happened to be in town and heard the whole story from Ina. I'll give you points for your quick thinking and taking action to come after the children, but you failed to follow through completely. I really messed up, didn't I? It's a good thing you showed up when you did. I'm sorry, I should have been watching her back. That just means that you have room for improvement. Constantly working to overcome your weak spots is the key. Understood. So, how about we head home, everyone? Can you boys walk? I think so. That was incredible, Mr. Bright. You're like a gazillion times more awesome than Estelle. Of course I was. I'm her father. Alright, everyone. Let's file on out of here. I'm with you, Mr. Bright. Who's the glory hog now? I mean, I guess I should be thankful that Dad saved my behind, but why does he always have to go around and take all the credit like that? It really chaps my hide. That's just the way he is. After all, he is Cassius Bright. She still hasn't realized that Cassius is some big shot. It seems like you've had quite the day. Dad is just unbelievable. The second we get back to Roland, he says, I'll leave the reporting to you, and takes off for home. The sheer nerve, I tell you. There's no need to make a mountain of a molehill over it. At least the boys came back safe and sound. Anyway, I think that's all there is to report. Okay, we've received payment for the child rescue, which is 1,000, and I believe there was a few racer points. You did well for your first assignment. From the details of your report alone, I believe I can commend you both on a job well done. You should be proud of yourselves. You really think so? I know so. In fact, you'll do even better on your next job. If that's actually kind of an ominous statement, by the way. If anything else comes up, I would appreciate your help again. Sure. How about we head home too? I guess we'd better. I've still got dinner to prepare. Would you mind holding on a second? A letter arrived for your father just a little while ago. Unfortunately, since he went straight home, I never got a chance to give it to him. Do you think you could deliver it in my stead? I wonder if it's more work-related stuff. I imagine so. The letter appears to be from one of our foreign branches. one of the guild's foreign branches. As I'm sure you know already by now, the Belt isn't the only country where bracer guilds exist. On top of that, your father is widely known all across the Zemurian continent, so we can expect these kinds of letters from time to time. If you two would be so kind as to make sure that he gets this letter, I would greatly appreciate it. And any more? No current job listings. I'm sure today was tough for your first day as bracers, but you had a fine showing. I'll see you two tomorrow. I think this letter is addressed to your father is important, so don't forget to give it to him. Any more stuff? No, okay. Oh, I think it's about time that we packed up this episode. This has been Fee Gaming. Have a good day and I'll see you next time.